Hey guys, how's everyone doing? It's AC Milan MTL here, and I'm here today for the final and fourth episode of the 2012-2013 AC Milan January transfer window. The event will start in a few minutes, just the time of getting you guys on the stream, of course. And after that, we will start with the latest names that have been going around in this week's rumors, and mainly discussion about certain players that were mainly discussed throughout the week in terms of coming to Milan, etc. So just giving you guys the time to log on and stuff like that. In the meantime, if you're already logged on, I will suggest that if you still haven't, please like me on AC Milan MTL on Facebook, as I always post news and match reports regarding Milan after every game and during the week. This is your ultimate source of news, AC Milan MTL. Please like me on Facebook. And if you don't have Facebook, please do the same on at AC Milan MTL. So it's two links, two social media links for you guys to cherish from. And of course, as I said, I always put the latest news and everything on it regarding Milan, and it will be great if you guys could obviously click on those links and follow me. So today, as I said, we'll be talking mainly about a few players that have been um, rumored to Milan, of course, and also I will be talking about discussion. I will mainly discuss about certain players during the week that have been rumored about coming, such as Kaká, Balotelli, and Drogba. That will be the main discussion today. But I will also introduce to you a few more players that have been heavily linked to Milan during the week. But we will have to see if in the end it will come or not for particular reasons. So it is time to get the live event started. If you guys, by the way, if you're watching it already, don't forget to share on Facebook this link in order to have more people on the live event and obviously engage more with the discussion about the topics that I'm about to discuss. And obviously, if you don't have Facebook, please share it on Twitter, as the more people, the better for discussion when we're talking about players. As usual, if you guys have any comments about any of the players that I'm talking about or any questions, feel free to drop a comment on the comment section. I will be glad to assist you and help you with various information. And also, if you guys, as I said, if you guys have questions and stuff like that, if you guys want to discuss your own opinion about certain players, please feel free to do so. Just a special hello to everyone that's watching so far, such as Aria and Lewis. And also Tiske Skeever, that I don't know if he's watching right now, but he asked if I will upload the same kind of videos when the summer transfer window starts. I will probably do that as well, just to get you guys with the most information out of the Milan transfer window rumors. But I might consider doing it once every 2 weeks because, as you have seen during the January transfer window, so many names have been linked to Milan. So many different names have been linked to Milan, and therefore um, we're gonna have to do this every 2 weeks because, as I said, Milan is a team that link many players to their team, but in the end they don't get anyone. So we will have to see about that. Anyways, there's seriously a long time before the summer transfer window starts, and anything could change till then. So it's time to get started, guys. The first player I want to talk to you about today is actually a player called Leandro Paredes. He's in the Boca Juniors, and this player has been linked with Milan this week mainly to see if he will be coming or not. Now, this player, as I said, he's also been linked by various top teams. He plays in Argentina, Boca Juniors. He's also been linked with Juventus. So it's a player that is very young, 18 years old, and as I said, this player is a midfielder that many teams will actually be interested in because he's been in Argentina's youth selection internationally throughout the years. He's been playing in the under 15, under 17, under 20. So you could see that this player seriously has some talent with him and could definitely bring a lot to any team. As I said in the previous episodes, however, many times these players that do play in South America, they play a different style of football. Therefore, obviously, we would have to see if certain players will adapt to the same kind of skill that is required in Europe. Because as we know, Europe is a whole different type of football. It's very different, harder, of course, than any of the South American leagues. Obviously, more there's more reputation in Europe, of course. But at 18 years old, this player is definitely showing that he could bring a lot of talent to any team. So he's been playing in Boca Juniors, as I said, since 2010. So basically, since he was 16 years old, which is very young to play in any team. You could definitely bring a lot to any team, as I said, but we would have to see how much this player would cost. Obviously, he's not a player that has an Italian passport, so we won't be able to sign him in this January transfer window. But it's also a name that could come back in the next months, and maybe, who knows, a discussion to open up in the summer transfer window regarding this player. As I said, Milan is obviously looking for more players that are in the youth level, players that are gonna rejuvenate the squad, and obviously that is Gaviani's and Berlusconi's plans at the moment. But as we have seen yesterday with the Zaccardo Mesbah swap, just in case you guys haven't seen it, I did post a video on this, so maybe after the live stream you can take a look at it if you need more information on it. Zaccardo, a player that is 31 years old, has been captured by Milan, and and as I said, Galliani always mentioned that he wanted a new squad, a young squad. That is Galliani's and Berlusconi's plan at the moment. But at the same time, we've seen that they got Zaccardo, a player that is 31 years old. Yes, lots of experience. But as I said, we can't base the team in a team that is almost all young players. That's to be a mix between experienced and young players. That is essential to have in a team, of course. Um, that is about it for this player. As I said, plays in midfield in Boca Juniors in Argentina. Started 2010, very young player, 18. Definitely a player that is on many big teams' eyes. They're looking at him right now and thinking if he's going to be a good addition to their team or not. If you guys have any comments, by the way, on the players, as I said, feel free to leave comments, and I will be reading them out, and also gives you a chance to get shout out on my channel. The next player I actually want to be talking to you about is the one that is called Bruno Zuccolini. Now this guy plays in Racing Avellaneda. I believe it's another team in, as I said, Argentina. And this guy, he's another young player, 1993. So once again, very young player, Argentinian, plays in a racing club actually. And as I said, this is another midfielder that could obviously give a lot to teams. Um, Very young players Milan are looking at the moment. Maybe not another player that would be able to get in the January transfer window, mainly because of the same passport issue. But it's nice to see that Milan seems to be going for South American players. As we know, Milan's always been influencing on Brazilian players in particular over the past years. We've seen Kaká, we've seen Ronaldinho, we've seen many different Brazilian young players at the moment, of course. uh, joining Milan. So it seems that Milan is always focusing on South American teams, and right now they're focusing more on Argentina, as we've seen many names have been linked to them, of course. And and yes, I believe that, as I said, these players could obviously bring a lot to the team. Uh, Louis says, "What's your personal opinion on Paredes?" Well, I did mention it when I was talking about him, that Paredes is, as I said, he's a very good young player. That, as I said, 18 years old, getting playing time with a good team like, as we know, in Argentina, and scoring goals already. I know it's only 4 goals that he scored in his career at the moment, but at 18 years old, that is quite a good accomplishment for a midfielder. Obviously, we're not talking about a striker with many goals, uh, but I think that this player could bring a lot to the team. As I said, age and also factors that many teams are looking at a particular player obviously means that he's a good player, that he could prove himself in the top leagues, and obviously could bring, as I said, much power to any team. So definitely, I would like to see more of this player playing. Maybe not necessarily this year, but we also have to be careful on getting players pulled away from us, because many times we've been putting our eyes on the players, and other teams have been faster than us in getting them. So it's something that we have to do quite fast, and sometimes it's even about risking. Sometimes it's even about risking and getting certain players that we believe are good and maybe will provide a lot for us in the future. Uh, it's sometimes risks that we have to take, but obviously that's what the management is there for. They should put and speculate themselves much on these players to see exactly their qualities and what they could improve in their current team. And it's something that is going to be based on a decision for them, of course. Um, yes, Arias says that we could be getting a South American player, and I would like to see an Argentinian as Milan. Uh, well, as I said, Milan is also looking a lot on players that are young and South American at the moment. Looking at many South American names, as I've shown you guys in the previous episodes, many of the names have been from there. Not many European names, but as I said, obviously there's been many linked with Milan from Europe, but mainly a lot of South American players. And we're gonna have to see in this, probably not January transfer window, because as I said, there's only 6 days remaining. But the summer transfer window is something that we could obviously look more. It's a longer transfer window, 2 months long, and obviously lots of deals could be happening there. And the next player I want to be talking to you about is Sao Paulo's Rodolfo. This guy is 26 years old, and he plays for Sao Paulo. Obviously, 26 years old, still lots of time to play. He's a central defender, something we're gonna obviously need, as we've been obviously thinking about getting defenders all this time, and we do need defenders, as I've stressed so many times. We do need defenders, and this guy could probably bring a lot to Milan. Young defender, 26 years old, 193 in height, 6'4". So he's a tall defender, and he's been linked with many good teams. This guy, he's been getting a lot of experience in mainly in Brazil, of course. So another player that hasn't been proven in the Europe's leagues, of course. Um, but as I said, this player has been linked a lot to different teams. big teams, so he has to be worth something no matter what. And we do need young center backs. 26 years old, it might not be the youngest, but this player could definitely bring a lot as well. Um, the scouts have been looking at different players. This guy is also a center back that scores goals, so it's something that we need. Maybe something familiar or similar to David Luiz in Chelsea. We're gonna need a center back like that, a center back that is solid in the back and can also improve and bring a lot of attacking positioning to our team. Obviously, as I said, uh, our main concern at the moment has to be the center backs. I believe that we're quite covered in we're covered well in the attacking portion of our team. We're gonna need at least some center backs and maybe one defensive midfielder in order to bring at least a good squad. That is where we're lacking at the moment. That is where we need to improve. Um, Ola's gamer tag says if Milan want an Argentinian, they should go for Icardi. I said I talked about Icardi last week. Actually, he's a good player. Actually, he's still to choose if he wants to play for Argentina or Italy, but he is of Argentinian origins, of course. And I talked about him last week. This guy is something that he's proving himself a lot. He's been scoring goals against Juventus, had a good performance against Milan as well. So it could definitely, as I said, Icardi is definitely a player that Milan are gonna look for to bringing to the team, and it's someone that I will want as well. But as I said, we're not currently needing many forwards at the moment. What I want them to mainly focus on is defenders. I want them to focus on defenders because that is where we're obviously lacking at the moment. Um, Arya says, yeah, Rodolfo was a good center back, but I prefer Rafael Toloi, who was previously linked with us and plays with Sao Paulo. But in terms of experience, Rodolfo was more of a sensible buy. As I said, as we got Zaccardo yesterday, sometimes experience counts a lot as well, as long as quality counts as well. But experience is equally, I believe, needed at the same time. So you're gonna want someone that has quite some experience and quality at the same time. Of course, as we said, we can build a team that is mainly focused on young players. Every position, every player on the starting 11 is young. We're gonna need those two or three that have more experience. For example, Montolivo, that is, I believe, 28 now. Um, it's good to have players that are around that age, 28 to 30, maybe two or three, including that starting 11, just to bring that experience to the younger ones. So it's definitely something that we're gonna need. Um, so maybe Rodolfo will be certainly a better option than Rafael Toloi. Um, they're good. I believe that they're both good center backs. I've watched Rodolfo a few times, and he can definitely bring some security to teams. But as I said, experience and quality are of equal interest to us at the moment because we're going to need both. We're not going to need someone of just quality because, yes, as a young player, it's good to have quality, but with time, you're going to need that experience that will make you a better player and obviously make your team win more games. For example, we got El Shaarawy that last year he's been playing not too much. He's got himself a couple of goals last year, and obviously gained a lot of experience with the older players that were there with him, such as Ibrahimovic, Cassano, players that have been playing in Serie A for a long time. With that experience, he brought it this year in this game, and look at how many goals he's been scoring. So it's something that quality is always there. It's something that you gain by yourself, but experience you're gonna gain it throughout the years. That's something that you need as well with the quality in order to perform at high levels. These are the three names that have been linked to Milan this week. Obviously, there's been other names as well, but there seems to be a bit of a confusion with these names, mainly because Milan is currently negotiating with different teams that are co-owning the same players, um and trying to see if they could bring one of them to Milan. It's a very confused situation between Milan and certain clubs at the moment, because what Milan seems to be doing now, and I'm going to be talking to you about this a lot now, which is going to be the main discussion, is that they're trying to loan players and not buying anyone anymore. All they want to do is loan players, and obviously with the buyback option. That means that once the loan is done, they're gonna have the option to buy them back or send them back, which is something that, as I said, is Milan's plans right now. Now, there's also these players that are owned by Milan and different teams, such as Genoa. We know that many players are owned by Genoa and Milan. Uh, and then we got other players like, as in Parma, we got Bologna, teams like this that Milan owns players as well. And it's things that they need to discuss together. And sometimes they could loan one to one team and then loan back. It's something that is very confused matter. And we're going to see what happens in this case. Now, I'm going to be talking to you about the main discussion right now, and that is what has been on everyone's mind these past few weeks, actually from the start of the January transfer window. If one of these players is going to be coming to Milan or not this year, actually this winter, of course. We're talking about Drogba, Kaká, and Balotelli. Now, as I've said, these players, I've been talking about these players since last week, to tell you the truth, guys, if you haven't watched my last episode. But it's really important to understand that Milan are kind of, as I said, Milan are kind of in a mode that we're gonna need to only loan players and try to loan players and obviously buy them afterwards, after the loan is done. This is what Milan is thinking at the moment. Now, we've been heavily linked with these players, Drogba, Kaká, Balotelli. I'm going to be starting with Drogba. Drogba is an old attacker at the moment. As I said, he's been playing in China after he left Chelsea, and he wants to leave. He didn't have the experience he wanted, he didn't like it, and now he wants to leave. And he's waiting for a release form by FIFA, an official release form by FIFA, telling him that he can leave and join another club. Now, Drogba is not a player uh, that is lacking experience, of course, and goals. You know how much he's brought to Chelsea. We know how much he's won with Chelsea, etc. But as usual, and he still doesn't know some rules. Now, the reason why we didn't get Kaká, in case you guys don't know, is because of fiscal policy. There's a problem with taxes that has enabled Milan in order to get him. The problem is that in Spain, players pay 23% of their annual salary to taxes. That is not a lot. 23% is not a lot. That means that if a player is earning a million euros per salary per year, 230,000 of that amount is going to taxes. That means it's going to the government. In Italy, there's a different situation now. Instead of the 23%, players have to pay 47 to 48% of taxes. Now that is a lot of money. Taking the example of the a million euros, if a player is making a million euros on average on year, per salary, 47, 48%, that is about 470,000 to 480,000 of a salary taken off. So that's almost half of a salary taken off per year. And that's how much players are actually making these days. You guys might think that certain players are making 10, 15 million salaries in Italy. Well, first of all, there's not many players that are making that in Italy. The players that are making most of that money are in Spain. And as I said, Spain players are not paying anything, barely anything. What's 23% of that amount for them? Barely anything. But when you're thinking about 47 to 48%, which is almost half of your salary, that means that if you have a salary of 10 million euros per season, you're only getting 5 million at the end of the year, which is really something that is bad. Obviously, no one wants to get cut that much from salaries. But that is a situation that led Milan to break all the plans that had Kaká. So with knowing all these situations, Galliani, obviously a smart man like him that has been involved with transfers in so many years, with all the situations that he knows that these taxes problems and etc. He comes up to us at the end of the day and tells us that the reason we didn't get Kaká is because of this. Now, if you guys didn't know, Kaká was obviously willing. He's making at the moment 10 million euros a season, and he has offered to cut down around to 6 million per season. Now, with those 6 million per season, 6.5, something around there, Milan was obviously agreeing with that. But once they found out that players, and I really don't understand how they didn't know this before, that players have to pay 47 to 48% taxes, obviously Kaká would have rejected that no matter what. Because if you think of it, already he's taking a cut of 4 million euros, and after that, he's taking another cut due to the taxes. So let's say from 10 million, his salary will be going down to like around 3 million, which is really a big scam for him. And obviously, as I said, if it was around 6.5 million, the two sides had already agreed. Milan had agreed, Kaká had agreed. It was up to Madrid. And at the end of everything, Madrid had informed them that this is how the situation is, and you guys are pretty much not going to be able to pay those 6.5 million per salary. That is the reason why Milan didn't end up getting Kaká. In case you guys are still confused. But what surprises me the most right now is not the fact that we didn't get him or anything. The fact is that how could a man like Galliani not know this in advance? Guys, he's obviously playing with our minds. He obviously knows these things ahead of time. And just because he knows that he doesn't want to pay that amount, he finds out these excuses. He comes out with these excuses saying, oh, the reason why we didn't get him is because of this. The reason why we didn't go out to buy players because we don't have enough money. Now that's complete bullshit, guys. That's complete bullshit. A study that has come out yesterday, I believe, has shown that Milan is still between the top 10 clubs in Europe to be getting the highest revenue on average. They have increased in 21 millions in revenues from last year, and is still the richest club in Italy at the moment. Milan, we're still the richest club at the moment. Now you're telling me that you don't even have the money to pay a salary of 10 million euros for Kaká. I mean, with all that money, and this discussion has been going on forever, with all that money that we had from the sales of Pato, Thiago Silva, Ibra, that is over 75,000 at least, 70,000, which is a lot of money. 70 million, sorry guys, which is a lot of money, of course. And you're telling me that this guy doesn't have enough money to pay the salary of 10 million for Kaká? If they really wanted this player, and I know many of you guys are saying, yes, we wanted Kaká to come back, and others are saying, it's good like this that we didn't get him, we could invest that money in younger players. The problem is that the investment will never be made, guys. The management and staff is currently fucking with us. Sorry for the expression, but they're screwing us over in thinking that they're gonna build a new team with young talents, good young talents, and they're gonna go all over the world and getting these players. Berlusconi also mentioned that there's players that they've been scouting all over the world. There's 100 players that they're currently looking for around the world. And now I need to know if Milan is actually serious about the future plans or not. Because it's seriously something that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense that they don't have money to even buy a player of 5 million euros, when at the time 15 million euros was nothing. They don't have the money to buy any defenders. They don't even have a name of the defender in their mind, when that is certainly the biggest problem at the moment. And they still don't know, with 6 days remaining, who's going to come, who of the big players is going to come to our team. That is a big issue. This team, the management at least, has gone downhill like no tomorrow. This team has gone downhill like no tomorrow, including the management and staff. Back in the years, they knew the decisions on top of their head. They knew what they have to make. They knew the decisions they were thinking about. They knew the players that they were going to go after. Nowadays, it's not like this anymore. It's players that are obviously linked with the team. There's many players that have been linked with the team, and they're saying, yes, we're interested in them. It's one thing of being interested, and another thing of actually going after a player and reassuring the fans that we will have a strong team. Maybe not for this season, but at least for the next season. That is something that a management and staff should do. Not say that we're interested and then it's just a name that has been thrown out at the fans and not a name that has nothing to do with anything. It's just names, guys. It's just names. This management is just names, sending names left and right to the fans without reassuring them that they will actually get one of these names. And then Galliani comes out of the blue, says, we're fine as we are. Now, that's the biggest slap in the face a fan could get. That's the biggest slap in the face a fan could get, saying we're fine as we are. We're obviously not fine as we are. We all know the problems that have been going on with this team since the beginning of the season, since the summer, for God's sake, when we sold Ibra and Thiago Silva. We obviously knew the problems starting from the beginning of the year that we were going to have. We knew from the summer that we were going to have a shit team starting the season. Too many results that weren't going our way. We lost 7 games this season already in the league, which is a lot for a team like Milan. And now, the moment. That is who we have. Pazzini and El Shaarawy, 24 goals together. Okay? Which is more than half of the goals that Milan, the whole team, has scored this year. 24 goals. Just to do a little calculation for you guys, 24 goals out of the 38 that we have scored is 63% of the goals scored by Milan this season in Serie A were scored by El Shaarawy and Pazzini. So we have right now the best duo in the league, first of all, in terms of goals. And we obviously have other weapons, such as a young Niang that has been proving so much to the team. He's shown a lot in these past few weeks, also in training, in friendlies, etc., that he can obviously bring a lot of assists and goals, attacking power. We see it in the games. This guy is obviously going to grow and he's going to be scoring goals. And I love this. I love these players that we're having right now. Niang, Deshiyo, El Shaarawy. Good players. Really good players. Thing is, you can't go telling me we are good as we are when the main problems is in the center backs. Our midfield is not creative. We got Boateng that hasn't been performing at all this season. Yes, he's got 3 assists in the past 4 games. I understand that. But is he the player that we had last year? Is he the player we had last year, guys? You guys need to understand that Many of these players are not the players that we had last year. Boateng doesn't even have the motive to do good anymore that he had last year. We used to see Boateng as a legend. We used to see Boateng as a player that would be scoring goals left and right. We saw that hat trick that he did against Lecce. We saw that beautiful goal he scored against Barcelona. What has he done this year, guys? What has he done this player this year? Then we got Montolivo. Montolivo is a good player. Don't get me wrong. He showed a lot of good assists and stuff like that. But the creativity is missing, guys. And I'm honestly telling you, I'm really scared for next month when we're playing Barcelona. 6 days left in this transfer market, and we haven't got a good midfielder or defender in our team. And it's scaring me, guys, to tell you the truth. Now, as I said, many teams around us are making signings left and right. We got Fiorentina as a team that has been improving so much during these past few years. They've been improving so much, not only with technical ability, but also with signings. This team is a team that wants to push for the future, that are willing to make signings. As I said, they will be making a lot of great signings this summer. A team that in Fiorentina that last year, in the past few years, last year they almost got relegated. For God's sake, I remember they ended, I believe, in the bottom five, bottom seven, and now we're thinking about teams like this trying to pass Milan in terms of ability and player skills. And where do we go look for our players? In Serie B. We go look for players in these leagues that have nothing to do with a team that has so many history in the past. We get Zaccardo, a 31-year-old player, going to play for Milan. What has Zaccardo done, guys? What has he done in this career? He's won the World Cup. That's a good achievement. But what has he contributed to any teams in the past? Personally, I don't think he has done much in the past. But obviously, he's a player that we prefer over Mesbah. I wasn't even playing. I wasn't even in the coach's plans, of course. So this is something that maybe many of you don't see that positive because of his past achievements. But I believe that this player is actually a good replacement of Mesbah because this player, yes, he has a lot of experience. He's not that much older than Mesbah, but this guy could play in many roles. And I mentioned all this in my previous video that I did yesterday. If you guys haven't watched it yet, I suggest you guys go watch it after the live stream. But as I said, it's really hard to see a positive comeback for Milan this year. That third place is only 9 points away. But at the end of the season, and I'm telling you guys now, I don't want to be pessimist, but it's going to be really hard to get that third place, guys. And really, 9 points is a lot, guys. With teams like Napoli and Lazio that are doing really good this year, they've been proving results. They've been bringing results to the league. It's going to be really hard to get that third spot. And I know we're really close to the Europa League. And I think that's what we will have to settle for next year. Obviously, we could thank the management for this, for not acting before. When we have 4 months of a season already, they could have thought players that they would be getting from the first day that the January transfer window started. They would already have these names in their head. But no, we have arrived with 6 days remaining, and we still don't have that good defender that we're looking for, and that good creative midfielder that we're obviously searching for. Tell me what you guys think about all this, guys. Leave some comments. Aria says, I don't know if Milan will easily return to the way they were, but I think if you want to return to the way we were meant to be, top of Europe, I hate to say it, but Silvio should consider selling Milan. And that is another point I want to be talking to about, because as Aria said, it's very important that the management, staff, owners are serious about the team that we have. Because right now, guys, all I've seen is them trolling us, really. They've been telling us that they will be getting players, they will be making this young team this and that. We will be obviously having a winning team in a year or two. And now, not to be as I said, we've seen results in the past few weeks, and that is great. But we need to just invest in certain players that are much needed. Once we make these 2 3 investments, we're gonna be just a nice increasement in the level of play for Milan to actually make that third position. And that's what we need, guys. Those 2 or 3 kid signings, and that's it. As I said, what does it take to buy 2 center backs that provide stability to the team and can provide security in the back, and maybe 1 midfielder? That is it. As I said, we've been thinking about these players from last transfer market, and we've been only thinking about forwards. And now I think that department is good, complete. We're in the green zone right there. The red zone is what we have to focus on. Defense and midfield. That's what we need to focus on. And if Silvio can get it through his mind that we're gonna need the money to buy these players, and with all the money in the world, guys, please, this guy has money. He just doesn't will. He's not willing to buy players, guys. If he doesn't have the love for the team anymore, and he keeps saying that he's a big fan of Milan, this and that. If you're a big fan, I know that if I was a big fan and I had that money, and I was the owner, I would definitely be buying players. Guys, as I said, they're they're screwing with us all this time, and really they're making us think that they're gonna get a few players, but in the end, this January transfer window, I would see it really hard for them to get 1 or 2 good players. And as I said, if we do get some players, it's gonna have to be players that are forwards because that is what we've been linked with. We're not gonna be thinking about um, what was it gonna be thinking about um, getting forwards. Now, I'm just looking here. And the next player I want to be talking to you about is actually Balotelli. Mario Balotelli is the last of these 3 that has been heavily discussed in this month. He's been obviously thought of coming to Milan, and I'm going to be talking to you about him as well in this last section of the episode, of course. Now, just trying to find this picture over here. Balotelli, obviously, a player that has a big past behind him. We obviously know um, what he's been going through, all his problems that he had with Inter, and obviously we know all the achievements he's got with being such a young player. Like when he was with Inter, he won the Serie A, Coppa Italia, Champions League. He has been a finalist at the Euro 2012, and he's been having many problems with Man City, of course, as we know. And Milan have been linked to him heavily. And as I said, this guy will be a good addition to the team, of course. Now, just think about Balotelli coming and then playing alongside El Shaarawy. We got Italy's future in our team. El Shaarawy, Balotelli, an amazing duo. And sometimes you guys might think Balotelli is too much of a risk player. We obviously he might come to Milan and do the same thing that he's done with his previous teams. But personally, I think that if we get a player, one of these 3 players at least, any of these 3 players, it can bring a big motivation to the team to do well. Because sometimes it's that one player that's going to bring the motivation. We saw it last 2 years ago when Ibrahimovic came to Milan. Obviously, that was another team back in the days. We had Ibrahimovic, Ronaldinho at the beginning of the season, Pirlo, an amazing team that could have won a lot. And we did win the Serie A that year, which we definitely had to. But, I mean, sometimes it's a risk that could bring you titles. Sometimes it's a player like um, Balotelli or Kaká that can bring you that extra motivation to push for more wins. And that's sometimes what we're gonna need, guys. Um, as we know, Balotelli could provide a lot of goals. Uh, he's obviously a magician with that ball, and he can obviously bring a lot to the team. Question is Milan willing to get him? Now, we know that they want to loan him, as they want to do with any player at this moment. But Man City has already refused. They said that this player will only leave if a team decides to buy him or not. That means if no team decides to buy him, he will remain at Man City and could possibly become another player like Kaká, just staying on the bench and becoming a rotten player, just rotting on the bench because he's not been playing enough. That is a similar case that's happening with him. Now, at the beginning, Balotelli was valued at 28 million euros, which there's no way that Milan will obviously opt out and get him. Now, Man City has reduced that amount to 20 million, and it's the last offer they're making Milan. Now, if you guys were in the Milan management, it's just a question, you guys could answer it. Would you go for that 20 million and risk the 20 million and buy Balotelli? Or would you take the 20 million, keep it, and invest in a defender or someone else? Personally, as many as you might think that Balotelli would be a good addition to the team and this and that, as I said, I think we're fine for the attack. Those 20 millions could obviously be good enough to buy at least two decent defenders, maybe 10 million each. That's what we're gonna need. That's personally my opinion. Just looking at you guys, some of the comments you guys are making. LP Junior 17 says, "I really think we can only judge this team in about 2 years' time. Let's see if they kept their word. If not, then it's just another lie and change of management is needed." That is a good point you brought there. As I said, many players, many people are thinking that Milan is not going to keep their word, and we're still going to have a bad team like we've always had all these years, all this time this year. I mean, now, as I said, 2 years time should give Milan the amount of time to get these new players. Should give Milan the amount of time of obviously buying players and making the fans happy and get results. If that doesn't happen in 2 years, then Milan obviously need to change management. Silvio needs to sell the club to someone that has the intentions of buying good players, the intentions of making title runs all the time to win titles, to bring silverware to the team. That is the owners we kind of need. As I said, if this team doesn't show to prove that they will be able to come with results after these 2 years, then it's time for them to leave. I agree with you, LP Junior 17, with the comments you made, and I think many other Milanistas will agree with what you're saying. Acrylic 47 says, Silvio is a greedy fuck. I hope Milan make deadline day signing. Now, we know Milan, as usual, they've always been a team that has been making signings in the last 2-3 days. So obviously, we're gonna need to see in the instante. There's some players like that. They're already confirmed that they will be coming to Milan next season. So there's a lot of young players coming in next season. Maybe they're not all going to be starters, but it's going to be interesting to see during next summer window the players that will be coming to Milan and the players that will leave, of course. I'm just going to bring you some last minute news, by the way. I was reading today that Acerbi might be leaving as well to Sampdoria on loan. It's up to him actually to make the choice. Galliani and Genoa had a good discussion regarding regarding this player because obviously either no sorry I'm sorry about that. Mila and Kiva have been having a discussion about Cherby to see if either it would be good to send a Cherby to Sampdoria or not. At the end, it's all going to become to the choice of the player. It's going to be up to him to decide if he wants to obviously leave the team and go to Sampdoria, get some more playing time, etc., and then maybe in the future come back to Milan. It's all going to be up to him. But these are the latest news. Just looking at some latest news. Also, Russia has been continuing to make offers. Reportedly, they've been saying that they're making offers for Abate and Antonini. Personally, I don't think it would be good for Abate to leave because he's still a young player, and we need to give this guy a chance. I know Deshiyo is taking his position; he's a way better player in my opinion. But we need to give Abate a chance. He's still very young, and who knows? He could provide something great in the future. When they see you, it could be one of the two needs could be a replacement for one another. And the thing is that at this time, no one wants to be a replacement, and everyone wants to be a starter. That is the problem at the moment that we have. Also, Spartak Moscow is making an offer for Antonini, and I really hope he leaves. With all respect, as I said, we're gonna need to get rid of some players. Players such as Antonini, Flamini, Mesba, which we already got rid of yesterday. There's a few other players that we need to get rid of, and hopefully we will really soon. The next two targets I really want to get rid of is Antonini and Flamini. Hopefully really soon, maybe in the summer. Who knows? But we are hoping for this. Um, just looking if there's any last minute news. Um, there's still rumors about the swap between Amelia and, of course, Stecklenburg. There's still that report that there might be a swap between the two. I really don't think so. If it is, it would be good, but I really don't think so. Maybe if Stecklenburg could come to Milan, he will be a starter. But there's other teams that have been looking at this player as well, such as Madrid. Madrid that are currently looking for goalkeepers. So it will be really hard for him to, in the end, to come to Milan, and I doubt it he will come. That's about it, really, regarding the latest news of Milan this week regarding transfers and rumors. This is also the last episode of the January transfer window I will be making, obviously for this January transfer window. Next week, which is going to be the most of busiest weeks in the world in terms of January transfer window, I will be keeping you guys up to date with the latest news. If there's going to be any signings, I will obviously be making videos on them, etc. I just want to thank you guys all so far for watching, for all of you that have been watching this series this month. Really, thanks for all that have been coming out and watching not only my live streams but also all my videos in the past few weeks, in the months, and those guys have been watching me from the very start. Thank you all so much. It really means a lot to see that there's people that care and watch my videos. Um, Also, as I said, it was a unique experience to start live streaming on YouTube. It was a try that I wanted to do since a really long time, and it has been coming true this month. And it's great to see that it works good and it provides a good interaction between myself and you guys live from the broadcast. So it's a good thing to see, of course. Um, that is about it, guys. Also, don't forget this Sunday will be the next Milan game. Will be on January 27th. This Sunday, I believe, at 3 p.m. local time in Italy. That is 9 a.m. Eastern if you live in North America. And yes, we are playing Atalanta away at the Bentigodi. So it's going to be a really, really tough match. As we know, Atalanta is a really strong team when they play at home. They can always create problems for any team. And we're obviously going to need the 3 points this game, guys, in order to win and continue our quest to be in the top three. With a possible win also, and Fiorentina lost, we will be passing Fiorentina. So it's a good step forward if this happens. Also, if you still guys haven't followed me on Facebook, please do so. AC Milan MTL for more Milan news and live match reports, of course. This is the place to be. If you guys don't have Facebook, just follow me on Twitter at AC Milan MTL for the same thing. And if you still haven't, please subscribe to AC Milan MTL for more Milan vlogs, match reports, news, etc. This has been AC Milan MTL. You're signing off. And Forza Milan. Don't forget, January 27th will be the next video, including the Atalanta Milan match report. See ya, guys.